Did you guys miss me? This is Manny Moonraker, and this is report number 108. So as always, let me just begin by saying, somebody cue the damn music. Welcome to the UFO report of UFO Buster Radio, episode number 109. I am your hostess with the mostest, Manny Moonraker. And let me tell you, the last few weeks, it's just been like vacation time for me. I've been away, I've been traveling, having a good time, meeting up with family, just chewing the fat. So, the UFO topic has not been at the top of my list. However, in my defense, my Samsung phone decided to have a meltdown. Hopefully it'll get replaced tomorrow, but I don't know. You know how these things work. But I'm pleased to say, right from the word go, that there's no major loss here. Because the news reports that I found regarding UFOs are literally in the shitter. There isn't really anything to talk about or report or do anything with because it's not really happening out there. Basically, a lot of news reports are about old news reports that were about old news reports. Not too many new things except for a couple of missiles being shot up out there on the West Coast, apparently. But I digress because we still got to talk about something nonetheless. Otherwise, I lose my entire audience and then we'd have no one here to listen to me rant and rave about stuff that really isn't there. But before I get started, usually at this point, I start plugging in my social media. But something happened recently. Some of you have come over to UFO Buster Radio through way of YouTube, by way of Conflict Radio. And there's two channels, 1 and 2. What's happened to them recently is that they've lost monetization on Conflict Radio because of so-called copyright infringement. And if you have any experience with YouTube, you know that any single snippet of anything can cause a copyright issue. Now, for those of you who have not listened to Conflict Radio, they basically take kind of the best shows from everywhere regarding, paranormal things, and they throw it into one YouTube channel. Some have video, some have just audio like yours truly, myself. But they've been hit with this. Truth be told, the Moonraker has been hit with that plenty of times. That happens all the time, constantly, thanks to YouTube and its craziness and the fact that it really doesn't support its creators, right? I mean, you gotta support your creators, otherwise they'll stop creating and they'll say, up yours, and they'll disappear and go to some other channel. So right now, for the last maybe, 8, 9 months, a year, YouTube has been pretty hardcore with these channels. And Conflict Radio has kind of hit that brick wall. So, if you came to UFO Buster Radio through Conflict Radio, what we're asking is you drop YouTube a line and say, hey, rubber dickers, what are you doing? Give these guys a break. Because the truth is that any copyright infringement or copyright issues that might be arising through what they are pretty much promoting or playing for the people is really going back to the original source. So it's not really them. It actually goes back to the original source. And what happens is if you have like 50 channels and let's say every single one of them do not take care of their copyright issues, it falls on Conflict Radio because they don't get that original copyright issue notification. They get the secondary one. But by the time they get it, they've got several hundred. So, if you can find it in your heart to write YouTube and say, wise up, leave them alone. They're doing us a service because most rubber dickers don't want to talk about UFOs. So, that's the message right now. But If you still want to follow me on social media, go ahead onto the Facebook pages Manny Moonraker, UFO Buster Radio, on Instagram at Manny Moonraker, on Twitter at UFO Buster Radio. Give me a follow, give me a share. And like I said before, share it with your mom, your dad, your father, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your cat, your dog, your fish. The idea is that unless we share, we're not going to get on the same wavelength, and we're not going to be able to address this in a way that other people don't. It's time to get rid of all the boring bullshit talk. We need to have fun with this now, but we also need to move the conversation forward. And if you're in the Netherlands, and you just reached out to me because you wanted to know when that documentary was coming, and some of you are thinking about that too. When is that Levelland, Texas documentary coming? Luckily for us, I kind of need my phone for that. So there you go. That's the story there. And the Moonraker will be disappearing again for the Independence Day weekend. By the way, if you're down in South Texas, South Padre Island that weekend, and you find the Moonraker, we can shoot the breeze, talk about UFOs. Maybe I'll have some UFO Buster wear to hang out. Well, more to give out. Forget about the hanging out part. But anyway, that's where I'll be. South Texas, South Padre, and Independence Day. So it means it's going to be a little bit hard for me to record. I'll try to get an episode done early before July the 4th. And hopefully, if my cell phone service decides to get my phone to me before then, we can put together our first little chintzy, really weird, what can I say, documentary, UFO Buster Radio style. But we'll do our best. We got to learn from this. We got to do it so that we can take the Greers of the world and all the other rubber dickers out there that do these documentaries, which are baseless and full of nonsense. We got to get on their level. We got to combat the evil when it comes to ufology. And talking about evil, let's get to the first article, because I know most of you will really love this, because it is straight from the shitter and something that people take pride in. I mean, hey, listen, we do some of our best thinking on the shitter. And thanks to the San Francisco Department of Public Works, they've taken the shitter out of this world. And like every other thing that I talk about on this podcast, you can look for the link in the description and look at this yourself. But by the way, I've done something for you guys, which will probably get, it'll probably get copyrighted, of course, like everything else. But I've got a picture of what I'm about to talk about. And if you looked for this episode, you'll see that the picture is what I'm talking about. And that is that just this past Monday, San Francisco decided to redesign their shitters. That's right. They're public shitters, toilets, take-a-home bowl. I don't know. You call it whatever you want to. The splashback. I don't care. I don't care. But the deal here is that they decided to redesign them to look a little bit like a UFO pod. Not a Tic Tac. Not a Tic Tac UFO. No, like a UFO pod. And really examine that picture closely, because it does look like that toilet is out of this world. The actual design for this toilet came from the SmithGroupJJR, and they were, of course, hired by the city to get rid of the old shitters, because apparently they weren't doing anything for anybody. Now, there is a punchline here, and according to San Francisco, these UFOs will abduct the city's terrible hygiene problem. I would add some drums after that, but I don't have any. And frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That is the news in San Francisco. So if you want to get abducted and at the same time take a good dump, San Francisco will have the shitters for you. And listen, I'll be honest. These stainless steel gigantic things, pods, they look pretty nifty, but don't think I'd be going to San Francisco just to take a nice dump in a UFO. And plus, you probably could get probed in those in that city, and it won't be from E.T.
Hey guys, this is Marty Angle from Angling Waters Outdoors, and you're listening to my pally, Manny Moonraker, right here on UFO Busted Radio Network. Hey Manny, you know why I fish at night? Can you say UFO? UFO. That's right.
For those of you who have been yearning for a story out of India, this next story is non-conclusive. It's not going to get you anywhere other than the fact that there's a UFO in it. But it's coming out of India. And, I was thinking to myself when I saw this, I was like, damn, there really hasn't been any good UFO stories as of late out of India. And this one involves the Prime Minister. According to this, on June 7th, there was all kinds of things happening. All kind of alarms went off. Because near the home of Prime Minister Marty, there was a UFO. There is currently a 2-kilometer radius no-fly zone around the Prime Minister's home, but no fucks were given because this UFO decided it was going to go visit the Prime Minister and maybe administer its own examination. The incident occurred that day a little bit after 7:30 p.m. and it was such a alarming situation that they sent this over to the National Security Guard, also Delhi Air Traffic Control. They in turn moved this over to the Central Industrial Security Force and Delhi Airport Authority. But even informing the Prime Minister's Security Unit, New Delhi could not find a single UFO to be had. The final conclusion by the people in authority is that this might have just been a drone. A drone caused this 7-alarm fire in New Delhi. This is probably why we don't hear about too many UFO stories coming from that neck of the woods, because apparently they're not ready for this yet. They are not ready for this if a drone is going to cause all this craziness. And first of all, how the fuck did he even get into that freaking no-fly zone? I don't know. They're not ready. They're not ready for a good probing, folks. So, India, New Delhi, you got some work to do. So now they did say from the Prime Minister's Security Force that they really were not going to have any more comments on this because they dropped the ball. They really screwed the pooch on this one. And if it really was a drone, some heads are going to roll. And I'm just ad-libbing that. He really didn't say that. I don't even know if they have that in that language. Because they're pretty nice people. I don't think they say people's heads are going to roll. But anyway, New Delhi, epic fail. You fucked up. Don't be letting them drones get by your Prime Minister. You never know what the hell they're carrying. So this has been UFO Report number 109. Probably the worst stories I have come across so far to date this year regarding UFOs. Even though, listen, like I said, a good throne to get your pooping on. It's always a good place to start off a conversation. And thanks to San Francisco, you can have your ET dreams while you're in there. I'll be back next week. We'll be working on this documentary. It's going to be UBR style. So keep your eyes on the prize. I'll be back.